Holy Purpose. Heavenletter number 5882. January 1, 2017. Ego is a false god. No longer give reverence to ego. Ego may serve a purpose. The true purpose of ego is to help you let it go of it. In this sense, ego serves a tremendous purpose. In this sense, ego serves a holy purpose. The dissolution of ego is worthy. The swelling of ego is a distraction from your true purpose, which is simply an unequivocal service, not necessarily primarily to yourself. Ego is full of fancy. Ego is fanciful. Your ego is not meant to be highlighted. No bowing down to ego. There are to be no flourishes. Ego is not meant to be a velvet cape that you swirl as though you were a toreador ready to subdue a bull. It is inevitable that you will get up off your knees to swarthy ego. No longer will you worship and extol ego. Ego leads you down a crooked path. There is a big difference between ego and, let's say, the glory of God. Ego would make you big. It would blow your head up out of proportion. Ego would have you swagger. Yes, ego goes to your head. At the same time, ego doesn't give you much. In truth, ego defeats you. Every time, ego lets you down. You fall down every step that ego takes you on. Ego is a hot air balloon. Ego can only fizzle out. Ego doesn't even say, sorry. Ego tricks you. Oh, yes, what a trickster ego is. With ego, you really bet on the wrong horse. You, in fact, are far more worthy than ego tries to make you out. Ego whips a cape around you and does a magic act that has fooled you. Again and again, this happens, and each time you are taken in. Ego would deny you substance. Ego would divert you from your worth. Look, ego does a pretty good job of catching you off guard. Be silent, and you will hear ego's tee-hee of victory. You will no longer fall into ego's triumphant clasp. Yet the day will come, and come soon, where you no longer have patience with ego. You will bid ego adieu. You will say goodbye to ego once and for all. You will come to your senses. You will be amazed that you were ever taken in. You will write a popular song about what a fool you were. The truth will dawn on you, and you will not succumb to ego again. Ego has left you disappointed more than enough times already. Alas, you don't quite understand how you were taken in. There are all kinds of stories written, and no longer do you believe every one. You have been led down a garden path often enough. Ego seemed amazing once, and you see ego now for what it is, a wool gatherer, a ceremonious fraud, a jokester. Sure, ego was great at tricking you. You fell for ego time and time again. Now you realize that it was not even ego who led you down the garden path. Now you see that it was you yourself, vainglorious, who really tricked you. So, okay, now, life has set you straight. No longer will you be sidetracked. Artificial flowers will no longer hold such great charm as they once did. You will see ego for what it is, and wonder how it is that you were taken in. Alas, you were a fool, and now you are forewarned. Now you are wiser on a scale of what happiness really amounts to. No longer have you a need to flaunt yourself. No longer have you a need to crave such portions of life that you once thought were your saving grace, only to find out that they were wolves in sheep's clothing. Say sayonara to ego. Say, I am wise to you now. You are not the cream of the crop. You do not have my best interest at heart. Off with you. Channeled by Gloria Wendroff. Heavenletters.org